Good evening. Now this is the news.
Hello, Chunky, it's the voice of reason.
Is for asshole.
See if we're live. We are live.
The headlines tonight: fist-headed man destroys church, car drives past window in town, and Leicester man wins right to eat sister. Now fact me till I fart. Coming up as stories in the programme.
Hello, Mush.
Hello, sir.
My name's Alex Belfield.
Hello, sir.
With your court report. This is the case of R v Alex Belfield
Hello, sir.
at Nottingham Crown Court, coming next.
Donkey. A-R. 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 Woof back. Donkey. Woof back. Donkey. Woof back. Donkey. A-R. 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 Where am I? Donkey. A-R. A-R.
8 counts of stalking. Not normal stalking is how they described it on the first day. This isn't following anybody, going to anybody's property or their workplace. This is over the internet. They are 5 people who are from the BBC, and there are 3 people who are not. One of those 3 was previously at the BBC. What was said in court by Judge Saney. You used the words thousands. How many emails? I would say in excess of 5,000 emails.
Do you hear that? That was the voice of fucking reason, wasn't it? Now take that hand and slap yourself in the fucking face.
This morning, Mr. Vine gave his statement with QC McGuinness, and this afternoon I did the cross-examination following the special measures being removed yesterday by Judge Saney. Today in court, in summary, Mr. Vine accused me of being the Jimmy Savile of trolling.
Right. We are live. Goodness gracious. It is Inspector, goodness gracious, Jimmy Crusoe here. How's about that then? Let me turn this over here. Goodness gracious. How about that then?
He said he faced an avalanche of hatred. The BBC report he was visibly upset. They said that I was fixated and accusing him of stealing £1,000 of BBC money. I even offered 1,000 pennies for any of my listeners to phone Mr. Vine on air. In cross-examination, I pointed out that Mr. Vine had followed trolls, including "Fuck You, Alex Belfield." A short clip of 30 seconds was played this afternoon, which had me dressed in 4 different shirts. That was to point out that the tape, which was less than 30 seconds long, had been edited to suggest that I wished that Jeremy Vine had COVID. I pointed out in court that the tape had been edited, it had music behind it, which I never use, and that in fact they were 4 videos that had been edited together.
OK, there will be no telephone Cluedo today because of a threat of a court injunction from the makers of Cluedo.
Yesterday I was in court to witness the cross-examination of BBC presenter Jeremy Vine by former BBC presenter Alex Belfield. Alex Belfield is accused of leading a campaign of harassment against former colleagues, as well as Jeremy Vine. Alex, 42, of Mapley in Nottingham, denies 8 counts of stalking on 8 different people between 2012 and 2021. Yesterday morning, Jeremy Vine gave evidence to the court, which is a jury trial at Nottingham Crown Court. Well, there was extensive coverage of this yesterday in media brands like Sky News, the BBC, The Mirror, The Telegraph, The Guardian, and the local Reach newspaper publication called Nottinghamshire Live. Well, reporters from these media organisations did not all attend court, but would have used the copy of a smaller number of journalists who were present to record events here at court. Now, this is a common practice with national news media organisations. We can see here some very similar headlines which indicate they are using the same copy from the same journalist. So the BBC and The Guardian use the term avalanche of hatred, Sky, Telegraph, Mirror and Yahoo News using the headline, "The Jimmy Savile of Trolling." Well, the local reporter from Nottinghamshire Live was in court yesterday. They used a different headline, an Olympic level of stalking. So now to the actual evidence heard in court. Now, for those who've read the media reports from yesterday, Mr Belfield and Mr Vine were both friends of a radio executive called John Myers, who died suddenly in 2019. Well, there was a lot of focus given to £1,000 which the BBC donated to his memorial fund. Now, John Myers had written a number of important reports about waste within the BBC. Well, this came up later in the afternoon during cross-examination of the witness. Now we're going to go on to the afternoon's proceedings, which is really important. This took place between 2 and 4 p.m. when Mr Belfield cross-examined Jeremy Vine. Now, from what I've seen today, there has been no reporting of the afternoon's events, the cross-examination of Jeremy Vine in court at Nottingham Crown Court yesterday. There's been a huge amount of coverage of what happened in the morning and what Jeremy Vine said in giving evidence in terms of the harassment and stalking allegations. So let's look at that evidence from the yesterday afternoon in terms of when Alex Belfield cross-examined Jeremy Vine.
Hello, Chunky. It is a Thursday morning live across the world. This is the Voice of Reason. Last night, instead of the phone-in, we did the witness statement from the court report with Jeremy Vine, who was the latest witness, R v Alex Belfield, the Crown v me, in 8 counts of stalking. This is BBC's Jeremy Vine, who confirmed yesterday he presents a show at Radio 2 and at Channel 5. He took to the stand at just after 2 o'clock. Judge Saini opened proceedings, and I began referring to his opening sentence where he said that there was a sofa incident. What was that about? I asked Mr Vine. This was an incident that may have got you fired, with Keely Donovan sitting on a leather sofa. You said the word naked, but it wasn't used, was it, Mr Vine? He said it was.
It's always nice to see a smiley face in the morning, and I go from sitting at home on my sofa in my underpants watching Keely Donovan to having her in my studio. Do you have an image, love?
Yes.
How is that?
I'm trying to block it out.
No, I think that's a wonderful compliment, that I'd wake up in the morning. And by the way, the bit about the underpants was a lie, because I go to bed naked. So there I am, sat on my sofa, and it's leather, which is good because you can wipe it down afterwards. And there I do. I get up about 25 past 7, something like that, so I can see your 7:30 bulletin.
Good, I'm glad you tune in. I'm very concerned that you aren't wearing felt pyjamas in this weather.
No.
As I am.
No, I have the heating up really high. I don't care about the environment. It doesn't make you laugh, all this, what do they call it, the global warming.
Well, this is
Look outside the flaming window.
This is weather, not climate.
Oh, don't start with all that rubbish. It's freezing, that's all we need to know. There's no global warming.
It is freezing at the moment, you are
How's
right.
it going? What's happening since yesterday, then?
Well, we've had a lot of snow overnight, haven't we? I mean, the Radio Leeds listeners have been amazing in the reports that they've been sending in, because we can see where it's fallen, we can see that it's been heavy. Could have another fresh covering overnight tonight as well.
You know what's really interesting through that whole thing? I didn't hear a single word you said, because I just got the image of me naked on my sofa watching you on the telly for the 7:30 bulletin. Is that nice?
No comment.
Keely Donovan, our big star from Loch North, thank you very much for joining us on the programme. She'll be back tomorrow, keeping you up to date with the weather. 9:14 BBC Radio Leeds. If you could see the look on her face.
I wasn't fired, though, was I, Mr Vine? It contributed, Mr Vine said, but I was on air for another 2 months after that. Let's move on to Mark Williams Thomas, I said. You said he was an acquaintance. He said he was your friend. Which is it? You don't deny, do you, that you know him? I can't define. You'll have to take that up with him, Mr Vine replied. I think it's lovely of him to consider me a friend. You said everything I've said is a lie. Do you stand by that statement? He replied, GoFundMe was a fraud. Your GoFundMe was closed by the police, Mr. Vine said. Which police officer told you that? I asked Mr. Vine. Janet Percival said she'd closed the GoFundMe account. There is nothing in the police record, I said, about Janet Percival accusing me of having my account closed by her in regards to the GoFundMe account. You shot it, Mr. Vine said. I said, you said the police did it. I then moved on. You told the court that you feared me, yet you asked for Section 68 measures approved and have since been revoked. Then you go on holiday next week, is that true? As of Monday, you were not able to attend. You asked me why not. I didn't want to be here because I didn't want to delay the case. The judge intervened at this point on matters of law. Vine says, in the end, I thought I'll just accept this. I was scheduled for the 25th. I thought it would help the court. I said, you described me as the Savile of trolls. The Jimmy Savile of trolling is what you described me, which has been printed in the press. That's what you are, Jeremy said. Savile was a prolific paedophile. Are you aware how serious it is to conflate the two? That's what you are, he said. Why do you put the two together? Was that to get a headline? I said. The message that made you cry, that you talked about yesterday, Mr. Vine, that wasn't by me, was it? No, Mr. Vine replied. I've never tweeted you about your father, have I? I don't know, Mr. Vine said.
That kissing sound isn't someone kissing me or kissing a cock. It's simply a cockerel, I mean. It's simply a way of saying it's Valentine's Day, a day upon which Mr. Al Capone ruined a romantic night out for many diners by massacring them.
It's a Thursday, live across the world. This is The Voice of Reason. My name's Alex Belfield. Today we have been reading the police transcript. We began Thursday, which is day 9, with witness Mark Williams Thomas. We first wanted to understand whether he was a friend or acquaintance of Jeremy Vine. He said he was his friend, and the prosecution agreed that this morning in a document that asked just 3 questions of Mr. Mark Williams Thomas. I then took to the stand to cross-examine him and asked him when he first became aware of me. He said in 2012, when I offered him a Jimmy Savile interview. He claimed that he was the man to expose Savile. I asked him next, when did you next become aware of me? And he had to look at his notes. He said, well, it was about a tweet. I said, what about the tweet? He said, I saw a tweet. I asked him, did you investigate the tweet before you tweeted it? He said, no. I asked him why he retweeted it. He said, a retweet is not an endorsement. Then the judge asked for clarification. The judge wanted clarity. He showed the tweet to the jury. They found it in the bundle. You didn't investigate the blog that was attached to the tweet that he retweeted by Jeremy Vine. He said, I'm not accepting I retweeted a lie, was his reply. The judge said, so you didn't read it and verify it was right? The judge asked Mark Williams Thomas. He said, no. I said to him, you're involved in the Cliff Richard, Jim Davidson, and also the Freddie Starr cases, weren't you, as an investigative journalist? He said as he reached for his notes. The judge once again asked for clarification. Then Mark Williams Thomas says it might be helpful if I gave evidence at Freddie Starr to explain what happened. The judge, in summary, criticised the clarity and total truth, he said. I then went on back to talk about retweeting. I said he did the retweet to get a pile-on, as in to get lots of people to hate on me, I explained to the court. The judge said, you know what a pile-on is? Mark Williams Thomas said it's to do with electricity.
Died of syphilis, he did. So there is some justice. Anyway, time for me now to hand over to a man who will hopefully not be massacring anyone this evening, or indeed killing them with syphilis. Is Monsieur David Clifton.
Ah, bonjour, Monsieur Partridge. Comment allez-vous, Monsieur?
Yeah, well, whatever. Did you get any Valentine's cards this morning?
Actually, Alan, I have to say, I came down this morning and I couldn't open my door.
Lose your key?
I couldn't open my door because I'd lost my key.
Yeah, well, I did just say that. Anyway, chocolate oranges.
OK, it's 7 a.m. and we've got a good show lined up for you this morning.
Do you like chocolate?
Pardon?
Do you like chocolate?
Yeah, love it.
I've really got to say this, Dave.
Yeah.
Chocolate oranges are available from Rawlinson's. That's all.
Okay, yeah, it's 7 a.m. and first of all, we got
Day 10 live from the Nottingham Crown Court. It's Alex Belfield at the Voice of Reason, and we're here with RV Alex Belfield, and this week has mainly been reading the police transcripts. They still don't have the tapes. I asked them this morning why they hadn't been sent, and we were told by QC McGuinness that those tapes, of which there are two, I understand, one is unopened and one is on the system, well, neither have been found in the last 5 days since they said they couldn't play them because they didn't know where they were. Well, we've read the transcripts. That was yesterday and today. There's hours and hours and hours of these tapes, and therefore I'm not going to put them on YouTube. They are there, though, if you want to indulge, at alexbelfield.com, unedited and unredacted, so they're all there. Today we got to the bit that they tried to redact and not have read out in court, which was the two accusers who have been dropped by the prosecution. Their names are Greg Scott and his wife Anne Scott. We heard that these two people were not relied upon as evidence by the prosecution. Mr. Belfield wants this master read, he said in court, for completeness. I requested on Monday, as you may remember, that we don't edit or redact anything, everything is read out. That's it from week 2 here at the Crown Court in Nottingham. My name's Alex Belfield, this is the Voice of Reason, and the case continues here in Nottingham, RV Alex Belfield. And we will update you on Monday when I understand DC Percival will be cross-examined by me in the witness box following the tapes that were read this week. DC Percival and PC Ryan Rowe, Monday here at Nottingham Crown Court. The case continues.
Little pigs, let me come in. Don't worry about the hair on your chinny chin chin.
Hello Chunky, it's Thursday evening. My name's Alex Belfield, this is The Voice of Reason. I believe it's July the 14th, and today we begin the police tapes. These will not be going on YouTube because they're too long. In fact, the police interviews account for this. These are the police interviews. They were between myself at the Mansfield Custody Centre. They were read out in court. These are restricted when complete documents. But I can inform you that they were read out in totality in court this week. On Tuesday we began, Thursday today we continued, and tomorrow hopefully we will end this. There are hours and hours of tapes. Now, just to give you an insight, they are quite repetitive. And I can't edit them because it wouldn't be fair. I can't be transparent and then editing to save time. So I apologise for my insistence of repetition. I'm doing as much as I can, as fast as I can. So I apologise for my insistence of repetition. Case, I'm doing as much as I can, as fast as I can. So I apologise for my insistence of repetition. I'm doing as much as I can, as fast as I can. So I apologise for my insistence of repetition. I'm doing as much as I can, as fast as I can. So I apologise for my insistence of repetition. So we begin. 3414, that is DC Janet Percival asked, in your own words, tell me what's happening. So this is the first police interview, the first time I was arrested of the 5 times by Nottingham Police on Monday, the 20th of July. We begin. Well, this is a witch hunt. I'm a whistleblower for the BBC, having worked there for 15 years. I've caused them an awful lot of embarrassment. Over the last 10 years, probably, I've had thousands of stories in The Sun, The Mirror, The Mail, The Sunday Express, The Daily Express, endless stories of corruption. And I'm a big thorn in their side. That is done through BBC FOI. They're not allowed not to tell me.
What is your great strategy for dealing with this? Come on, I mean, I'm fucking all ears. I'm fucking Andrew Marr here.
So
right.
let's hear what
Let's go, let's get going. High level tactical discussion, I'm up for it.
Right, blaming the department minister might be a high-risk strategy.
Oh, high risk, saucy, par serve.
My pitch would be this department is fatally flawed. It's out of condition, it's obese, it's asthmatic.
I say go back over the net.
You need to be really sure about that, Nicola.
Yes, wise words from the distinguished elderly gay fucking tennis coach here.
Seriously, I think we should talk about my strategy further, because I really think that that's the way.
Yeah, the fucking wee ball boy's having a go now with his wee fucking tight shorts on. What about Sue Barker's little sister here? What's she got to say? You got something to say to add to the conversation?
No, just that there was no lemon stinger, so it's just coffee, is that all right?
I know where the bodies are buried at the BBC, and they don't like that. And now they know how I expose the truth through facts. That has made me a huge target for people who are very protective of the BBC, knowing it's about to be defunded imminently and never more. So at a time that in the last week, 920 are about to be fired for venom towards me for exposing why they shouldn't be spending. By the way, there has to be some autocorrect there. That doesn't make sense, but I'm reading you what is written.
The Guardian know about this?
Oh, fuck. I don't... Fucking Guardian, I don't know.
Yeah, as it's referred to in my department.
Should I find out? Get some feelers?
Yeah, go on, get your feelers out for the lads.
What do you think, Malcolm? Shitting on the department, will that work?
Yes, let's cause a little bit of friction. Let's fire someone. What about Glenn?
No, you can't just fire Glenn
Well,
like that.
we could fire Glenn.
Shall I get his file?
No, I've got a list.
See, there you are, he's got a list. You're a new broom. You're sweeping up trouble with one end, broom handling incompetent staff up the tunnel with the other.
So, Malcolm, how do we play it at the Guardian?
Smile, be gay. Smile, smile, smile.
For clarification, this isn't a written statement. This is my oral statement I gave during the first police interview, having been arrested and put in the cell at Mansfield Custody Suite. Why we're here today is very simple. When I left the BBC in 2011, I resigned. The first thing I see on their claim is that I was sacked. Now that refers to the fact they show you the document before you go in for interview as to why you've been arrested. I can prove I resigned. So before we even start with what's happened, when I resigned, they said Alex Belfield has left the BBC. I hadn't left the BBC, I left BBC Radio Leeds, which is pursuant to these claims from Rosina Breen, who you heard last week in the interview, the witness statement and the cross-examination. She was the first witness. That was on the Tuesday. Helen Thomas, who was the last Thursday, Friday, and Liz Green in the middle, who I say here, and Stephanie Hurst, who's coming next week. I'll read that. So they're very clever, even though they're the BBC and not telling the truth. The truth is I resigned, and for 10 years I've built my career online.
So you think you're gonna live your life alone, in darkness and seclusion? Yeah, I know. You've been out there and tried to mix with the animals, and it just left you full of humiliated confusion. But the feeling of loneliness never leaves you. It haunts you everywhere you go. And then you meet me, and your whole world changes. Because everything I say is everything you've ever wanted to hear. So you drop your defenses, and you drop all your fears. And you're so busy feeling good that you never question why things are going so well. You wanna know why? 'Cause I'm a liar! Yeah, I'm a liar! I'll tear your mind out, I'll burn your soul, I'll turn you into me, I'll turn you into me, 'cause I'm a liar, a liar, a liar, a liar.
Those are the headlines. Happy now?
Let's go!